On the far rim of the Orion expanse, where peace treaties barely restrained silent wars, lies Valkyris, a world bathed in permanent starlight and ruled by the merciless Valkyrie barons. Among them stands Baron Zertal, the cruelest of all, a man who collects living beings as trophies and humiliates them for spectacle. When Kale Mercer, an Earth trader and engineer, arrives for negotiations, he refuses to bow to Zertal. The Baron seizes the moment to make a public mockery. With a laugh echoing like rusted metal scraping glass, he announces a gift, his daughter, Rema'Xir, paralyzed since a childhood solar fire accident. He presents her as useless, a burden, a joke. Gasps fill the chamber. No one dares defend the girl. Kale could walk away, but something in Rema's silver eyes, sharp, intelligent, trapped, freezes him. Quietly he accepts, not the joke, but the person. The hall does not understand his defiance. Zertal laughs, promising Kale will regret it. Rema communicates only through tiny blinks and faint electrical pulses interpreted through a ship interface built by Nora on Kale's ship, the Sparrowfall. Their first days together are awkward, wrapped in silence broken only by Kale's attempts to fill the empty space. He performs the tasks needed to keep her alive, feeding her, cleaning her, ensuring her comfort, not as a jailer or caretaker, but as someone acknowledging her humanity. One night, as the ship drifts past an asteroid field, the interface blinks a full sentence for the first time. I want to move. Kale is not a doctor, but he is an engineer who once rebuilt a derelict freighter using nothing but mining scraps and broken AI cores. If there is a way to restore her movement, he vows to find it. He begins gathering alien schematics, black market neural research, and cybernetic studies. The Sparrowfall transforms into a workshop of wires, servos, and quiet determination. The relationship forming between them is not built on pity. It is built on mutual respect, a silent agreement that her mind deserves freedom, and he will fight to give her the agency her father denied. The opening of the story becomes a promise. This is not the tale of a burden, but the spark of a legend. The Sparrowfall becomes a crucible of engineering, experimentation, and stubborn hope. Kale throws himself into studying every alien manual, scavenging old actuators, neural chips, and servo joints. He crafts prototype exosuits that can respond to the faintest impulses from Rema's mind. The early attempts fail. Actuators misfire, neural links confuse signals, and prototypes collapse under their own weight. But Rema refuses frustration. With each failed test, she blinks the same message. Try again. Their partnership tightens. Rema's brilliance begins to pour through the artificial voice Kale rigs for her. When she first speaks through the synthesizer, her tone is sharp, witty, and filled with dry humor. She jokes that she'll outrun him one day, a claim that seems impossible at first. But slowly, impossibility becomes progress. A twitch becomes a grasp becomes a step becomes a run. Yet Rema's true hunger is not simply mobility. It is meaning. During her years of paralysis, abandoned by her own father, she studied everything she could access: history, politics, alien cultures, military strategy, power structures. Her mind is a galaxy of insight that has never been heard. Now that she can move, she wants her voice to move farther. Together, she and Kale create a hidden broadcasting platform aboard the Sparrowfall. Using a voice modulator and encrypted transmissions, she becomes the Phoenix of the Void, an anonymous analyst revealing the hidden cruelties of the Empire, exposing the atrocities of the Barons, and criticizing the corruption of the Intergalactic Council. Her voice travels across space like a spark hitting dry grass. Listeners begin forming underground circles. Farmers in outer colonies share her messages at night. Scientists and smugglers replay her broadcasts on hidden channels. Some believe she is a rogue AI. Others think she's a lost noble. No one imagines she is Zertal's useless daughter, but they believe her. Her commentary awakens systems long accustomed to silence. New alliances form, whispered rebellions start to breathe, and small resistance cells unite under her symbol, a burning phoenix rising from black void. Rema's transformation shifts from personal triumph to political ignition. She is no longer a rescued girl learning to walk. She is a rising force capable of reshaping a galaxy. Rema travels to Curies 3, a neutral colony, To meet the rebel cells she helped inspire. But the meeting is ambushed. Valkyrie soldiers seize her, disable her suit, and drag her back toward Valkyris Prime. Her identity as the Phoenix remains unconfirmed, but her defiance fuels rumors. The soldiers intend to break her publicly. A panicked distress call reaches Kale while he repairs a cooling valve aboard the Sparrowfall. The moment he hears the trembling voice say, "They took her," everything changes. Without hesitation, he arms the ship, loads plasma cannons, and launches into hyperspace. On Valkyris Prime, Baron Zertal prepares a grand spectacle, a trial meant not to judge but to humiliate. The amphitheater is packed with nobles, guards, and curious elites. Rema kneels bound, her exosuit disabled, her voice silenced. Zertal mocks her transformation, calling her a failed experiment and a rebel joke. Just as he lifts his hand to deliver the final sentence, the sky splits open. The Sparrowfall falls from the heavens like a meteor. Sonic thunder shakes the amphitheater. Guards scatter as Kale crashes through the lines in battle armor, plasma cannon lit like a star. But he is not alone. Ships descend from every direction, vessels bearing the Phoenix insignia. Farmers in patch transports, smugglers in stealth ships, defectors from noble houses, scientists, engineers, miners. All those who believed in the Phoenix's voice have arrived. What began as whispers becomes a storm. A massive battle erupts across the palace grounds. Rebels clash with elite soldiers. Plasma fire lights the Starlit City. Rema's supporters break through lines, reactivating her suit and cutting her restraints. Kale storms the palace interior, fighting through collapsing corridors until he confronts Baron Zertal face to face. Even wounded and cornered, the Baron sneers, calling Rema nothing. Kale ends him with cold finality, not for revenge, but for liberation. With Zertal dead, the old order cracks. Noble authority begins to crumble as rebels seize command posts, shut down slave networks, and reclaim districts long ruled by fear. Rema, rescued and rearmed, stands amid a rising revolutionary tide. The Phoenix is no longer a voice. She is now the leader of a united rebellion. The fall of Baron Zertal triggers the collapse of the Valkyrie aristocracy. In the battle's aftermath, rebels, defectors, civilians, and liberated laborers gather across the planet. What once was a kingdom built on spectacle and cruelty becomes a world in reconstruction. Rema refuses to allow chaos to replace tyranny. Guided by her strategic mind and the networks she helped awaken, she leads discussions on lawmaking, accountability, and rebuilding. Her supporters, scientists, engineers, former nobles, farmers, and frontier colonists, form the core of a new government. For the first time in Valkyris history, power belongs not to a single bloodline, but to its people. Through unanimous vote, Rema'Xir becomes the first chancellor of the Valkyris Republic. She stands before the crowds in her completed exosuit, fully operational, fully her own. Her voice is steady as she addresses the galaxy. I was given away as a joke. I became a legend, not because I walked again, but because I rose. Her speech becomes a touchstone across systems. Children learn her name, Rema the Phoenix. Rebels across star sectors quote her words. Former slaves tell the story of how a discarded girl became the fire that reshaped empires. And through it all, Kale stands behind her, silent but proud. He never seeks credit. He never claims heroism. He simply watches the woman he helped free transform into one of the most powerful figures in the galaxy. Travelers whisper about him in dusty spaceports. The Earthman who turned a discarded soul into a savior, not through love or destiny, but through respect. He gave Rema the tools to rise, but she built the legend herself. Under Rema's leadership, Valkyris becomes a symbol of rebirth. A world that once represented cruelty now stands for justice and unity. The Phoenix's influence spreads far beyond its borders, inspiring uprisings in neighboring systems and forcing corrupt powers to face the voices they once silenced. The legend continues to grow. A girl rejected by her own father becomes a galactic icon. A man who refused to bow ignites a revolution. And a galaxy learns that sometimes the greatest power comes not from strength, but from recognizing the worth in someone the world has thrown away.